Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to see how to build a RAG chatbot with Amazon Bedrock and Amazon Knowledge Base. So this is using Streamlit, and I've created this chatbot and have some knowledge base stored. So let's ask a question related to the knowledge base. So the knowledge base that I've added is related to 3D printing manuals and some issues that uh, generally people face in 3D printer, and we can ask questions related to that. So if I go and ask can anything related to tangling problem, so it will run. So it is giving me a response that may be caused by the following situations. So it is coming from the knowledge base that I've added. That's how this works, and we are going to see how to build this. So first thing, let's go to our Amazon S3 bucket. I have a bucket here which is this rag aws bucket. In this I have all the knowledge base. So the filament tangling problem is coming from this particular part. Okay, so this is the source data source that we are going to use. Then we go to Amazon Bedrock. So for Bedrock, so you can come here, get go search for Bedrock, come here, and then go to knowledge bases. So when you come here, you can create different knowledge base. So when you do this, make sure you are logged in not as a root user, but you as an IAM user, with particular permissions given. So you can go to IAM. Let's see. So right now I'm already logged in as the IAM user with the appropriate permissions. Right. So that's me, and you can add all the permissions that you need to add over here. Okay. With that done, now I have already created a knowledge base, but let's go and create one more. You can come here. That's the default name. You can use the existing new service role, or if you have an existing one, you can use an existing one. I think I'm using an existing one, which is this one. Okay, then the data source is Amazon S3 for now, and then you click on next. So choose your S3 location. So mine is this particular location. I won't create now, I'm just showing you the steps. Go next, keep everything same, choose your embedding model. So go ahead and choose maybe the text G1. So this is how the embeddings will be created with the database, with the data source that you are going to add to the S3 bucket. Vector database, create a new vector store, choose the default ones, and you can review everything and create a knowledge base. Once you do that, you have this created. Right, so you come here and you get this particular window, and now you have a chat interface within the console itself where you can test your model with the knowledge base. When you add new knowledge base, make sure you choose this and sync up your data source so that it is up to date. This is the embedding model that we chose, that I had chosen while creating the knowledge base, and the vector database. So the vector database that we are going to use is Amazon's open source serverless, and with this particular embedding model. So once you have everything set up, this is the creation of knowledge base with an IAM user with appropriate permissions within the region. Okay, so make sure you have these things sorted out before you create a knowledge base. Do not use a root user. Okay, so we come here, select your model, and we can try executing different stuff. Now if you want to go with a RAG approach, this is where you can test and understand. So let me ask something different. uh, let's say this, or AMS filament hub working. Let's see if this works or not. No, I'm not so sure, so let's see. All right, so if you see, it gives some response, and also shows you the source from our S3 bucket. So it is coming from ams feeding.txt, and we can go here and check. We do have that particular file. So it is uh, giving us appropriate responses. You can play around with this and make sure that your knowledge base is working as per your expectation before you start using within your application. Okay. And if you want to configure your retrieval, you can come here and use this particular button to change your stuff, the top p, temperature, length, source chunk that you want to put, the maximum number of retrieve results. And this is where you put your system prompt if you have to have the chatbot know certain things before it starts giving responses, right? And the guardrail as well. All right, so this is the console part. This is how you create a knowledge base. Now our task is to use this into our own applications and create a chatbot. I'm using Streamlit because it's very easy to start with implementing it. So let's look at the code now. If we come here, I have this running. So I'll explain what this is. So I have this is the chatbot part, and this is the uploading any knowledge, custom knowledge that you want to add from the Streamlit app itself. The part which we need to look at is this particular part where we have the chat history, session state, and this particular part, the glib.chat with model, give the entire chat history and the new text input that we have here, right? And this is the file that we are going to use. Okay. So we have a class that can store image and text messages, and this is the function that we are calling from the front Streamlit function. This is the session, this is the session, and this is the AWS key, access key, and secret access key and ID used here, and the region is mentioned here. Now we need to create a client, which is the Bedrock agent runtime client. And if you go to the Bedrock under the Boto 3 documentation, you can find Bedrock runtime, Bedrock agent, and Bedrock agent runtime. So each of these three low level clients allow you to interact with foundation models on within the Bedrock. And since we are using a RAG based approach, that particular functionality is in the Bedrock agent runtime client of Bedrock using Boto 3. Okay, so that's why we're going to use this, and that's how you initialize your client. You give the model ARN. So where do you get this from? You get this from your knowledge base. So you click here. So use the model ARN, which is the foundation model that you want to use, which is the Titan Text Premier. And we have the Streamlit, adding messages, creating message history, and this is where we are using the RAG part. The retrieve and generate API is what this particular function or client gives us to use it. So just input the new text and use this particular function with the knowledge base, the configuration, and the knowledge ID. So you get this particular knowledge ID from here. Make sure you copy. So now it knows which knowledge base to use, and the model ARN is which uh, model, foundation model, you want to use to get the response. And once that is done, you simply get the response here. That's the response with our output text, and that is what we are going to, which we are seeing on the Streamlit front end, right? So if you come here, so this is the generated output that we got, right? So this is the RAG part. So but this doesn't tell you whether it was it doesn't show the score or the relevancy score or the document from where it was fetched, the way we saw it on chatbot, on the console chatbot, right? So to do that, they have given us another API, which is the retrieve API. So let's see that also, which is very simple. It is just, so earlier it was retrieve and generate, now it is just retrieve, give the knowledge base and the query, which is the input query. When you do that and you run this, since we already ran it before, I can show you this is how the response comes. And in this response you can actually see, uh, so this is request id 200, you come back, content results, you should see the source. Okay, so this, so as you can see, since we did talk about, let's see, we talked about tangling problem, it comes here and it figured out that that particular problem is mentioned in the filament angle.txt file. And if you go further down there should be a score as well. So like this is the score. So now it is giving the score of how similar it is with that, and it is going to generate, give the text from this particular uh, response. So the client retrieve, so the only retrieve API gives us more understanding on how we can, how we are getting the response and from where we are getting the response from our knowledge base. Now this is, now the, since the knowledge base was very small, but when you think about it, for an enterprise application you are going to have a lot many things. You need to make sure that the vector database, the open source serverless, is also working as per your use case. And you will have multiple knowledge bases and you will have multiple s3 buckets or anything else. Right now the content was just text file or pdf, which it can do easily, but videos, images is something that we can, that you can work on. But this is a good head start to create a chatbot using Amazon Bedrock, its foundation models, and using the knowledge base, so that you can have persistent data, right? You can do the same thing by using chroma, but then it would be locally stored, but you don't want that, right? You want it to scale as per your knowledge increases. So this is how you can do. It's a simple code, it's a good start to create a chatbot, LLM based chatbot with Bedrock and AWS knowledge base only. And to give you a quick overview about the other clients, so if you want to use the Bedrock agent, Bedrock runtime, you won't have these particular functions. You would rather have functions like converse and stuff like that, where you can pass the messages and then you call with different parameters. In this particular example also, right now there's only base configuration that I've used for easy to understand, but you can have different configurations. I'll put the link of the documentation in the description below, and you guys can check it out. And there are multiple things that you can do to make this retrieve and generate configuration suit for your use case. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show in this video. I hope you understood some stuff. And if you have any questions, and if this would be available on my GitHub, and if you have any questions related to the code, I would be happy to help if you put that in the comments below. Thank you.